Oh God, it's 2025 already. How did that happen? Do you ever wonder that life is just slipping through your fingers like fine grains of sand, that one day you're going to blink and wake up and just find yourself in a nursing home alone, incontinent? Anyway, there's some great cars coming out in 2025, and here's some of the best. Now, the following is a list of some of the most interesting and exciting new EVs scheduled to arrive this calendar year. Caveat, 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 things get delayed, things get brought forward, list is not exhausted, probably forgot something. Do let me know in the comments if indeed I did forget something especially important, and of course, let me know which of these cars is the one you're most looking forward to. Shall we?
We've teamed up with Duracell Energy to celebrate their brilliant ecosystem of home energy products and their Platinum Homeowner offer by giving away a Duracell bunny. To win, simply watch to the end and answer a question about Fully Charged.
Now we begin in Italy this time around, and we're going to start with Alfa Romeo, who have got a big year coming up because their much loved and long-serving Giulia saloon is going electric in 2025. Now, this is interesting because Alfa is one of those brands that have been lagging behind their competitors for a long, long time, just like Kia were once upon a time. Kia went big on electric, it worked very well for them. Alfa planning on doing something similar. On the other hand, there is no brand more associated with soul and petrol heads than Alfa Romeo. So high risk, high reward, very interested to see what this car is all about. What we do know is it's going to have, quote, a minimum of 497 miles, which is a lot. There you go. And that Giulia saloon will be quickly followed by a Stelvio SUV, potentially back end of this year or early next. Fiat will deliver its Grande Panda this year. That's the sub €25,000 compact electric car, sharing its bones with the lovely little Citroën EC3. What's really exciting to me about this new car is it's actually going to spawn a family of Panda EVs. There's going to be big ones and small ones and camper ones potentially. There's talk that this Grande Panda is going to be followed by a Mega Panda, and if they call it that, it's immediately my new favourite car. On the slightly more upmarket side of things, Maserati's MC20 supercar goes electric this year. Tri-motor, 700 brake horsepower and only 100 kilos heavier than the petrol version. Goodness me. And how about this? A Ferrari electric car is expected to break cover in 2025. We know nothing about it at this moment in time. There's speculation that it's going to be an SUV because the test cars have been seen using the body of a Maserati SUV, but who knows? Moving on to Germany now, who are going to be busy this year. BMW, to start with, will unveil its Neue Klasse in production version. This is the new generation of BMW electric cars with pared back, more understated design language and bespoke EV architecture. These are really, really exciting products. I've done a whole video on them. You should go and watch it. The first one to arrive in 2025 will be the equivalent to the BMW iX3, so medium-sized SUV. That's to be followed by a 3 Series equivalent 4-door saloon, the thing BMW is best known for. I really like the look of these cars. I like the look of the new, more pared back design language and the emphasis on efficiency. Audi will begin deliveries of its A6 and Q6. This is its large, luxurious SUV and saloon. Same bones underneath as the new Porsche Macan and Taycan. We're even going to get an electric RS6. That's a legendary car, super high performance family wagon. Goodness me, I cannot wait to see what an electric one of those looks like. Having said that, out of the trio of legendary luxury German brands, it's Mercedes I will have my eye on in 2025 because of the new CLA. So this is a super swoopy, smallish electric coupe saloon, again placing the emphasis heavily on efficiency. This car in testing has broken the record for the longest distance covered by an electric car inside 24 hours, beating the Porsche Taycan. That speaks to impressive efficiency, range and charging rates. They reckon north of 5 miles to the kilowatt hour in real world conditions is going to be entirely possible. That's a big deal. And Merc has gone pretty big on electric cars thus far, with some lukewarm results, I think it's fair to say. The EQ badged cars have not been huge hits, and there are many schools of thought as to why this is. I think it's because they're too expensive and a little bit dull to look at. In any case, this CLA will not be badged as an EQ car, and it's also going to be available as a hybrid as well as an EV. Mercedes claims that the platform is mostly for electric and it will just about squeeze in a very small engine, but we're going to see this a fair amount this year. We're going to see brands hedging their bets and offering mild hybrid or plug-in hybrid versions of some of their new EVs. That's not going away anytime soon. Moving on to Porsche, we're going to see a cheaper entry-level version of the recently arrived electric Macan. That's going to be a single-motor rear-wheel drive car. We may get a look at the new full-size SUV in electric form, that's the Cayenne. But the big news is that this is the year that Porsche's Boxster and Cayman go electric. This is, for me, the most controversial new electric car launch to date. Cayman and Boxster are icons of petrol heads, people who love to drive. They're some of the purest sports cars on the market. And the fact that Porsche is going electric with them long before their rivals at Lotus and Aston Martin are going electric with their equivalent models is a huge risk. Having said that, Porsche haven't got much wrong in recent years, and that includes their electric cars. So cautiously optimistic / a bit nervous. As for VW, this is the year that we will see a production car based on the lovely ID2 All concept that we've been teased with for some time now. This is VW's smallest and cheapest offering yet, using a MEB entry platform. That's a smaller, cheaper version of the MEB, which will serve a lot of compact front-wheel drive models in the VW group in the next couple of years. And for me, VW's story as far as electrification so far is not dissimilar to Merck's in that they really are trying, and they've made some very worthy, if slightly unexciting vehicles. I love VW, I love the Golf. ID3 leaves me a little bit cold. And with this ID2 model and subsequent cars, VW is going to make a decisive effort to really reconnect with their heritage. That means they may use some of the nameplates of previous models on electric cars. It means the design language is going to be a bit more familiar, hopefully some physical buttons and switches maybe. Please. Popping over to the Czech Republic now and staying with VW Group, we'll see the new Skoda Elroq deliveries begin in 2025. I've done a whole video on this, you can go have a look, but the spoiler is this. Small-ish, very practical, very affordable electric crossover. Not the most exciting thing in the world, but it really does look to be a very enticing package. And moving over to Spain, but still staying with the VW Group, this is the year that we'll get the Cupra Raval. This is Cupra's answer to the VW ID2. Same architecture, just more Cupra-y. This is going to be based on the Urban Rebel concept that we saw a couple of years ago, minus the silly name and Liberty Walk body kit. On to France now, where Renault will begin deliveries of the extremely appealing new 4. This is following in the footsteps of the Renault 5. It's a reimagining of one of their iconic models. It's boxy and practical, but still retro and stylish, and it comes with an optional retractable fabric roof, which I think all cars should. As someone who loved the Renault 5 but could not fit in the back of one, I am excited for this. Peugeot, meanwhile, will electrify their very good-looking 408 coupe crossover thing, thus completing their mission to offer an electric version of every single car in their lineup by the end of 2025. Every Peugeot, you can have electric, petrol, or hybrid. I'm excited for that 408. It strikes me as one of those cars that car nerds will fawn over in years to come as a bit of a niche gem. Like, do you remember the RCZ? RCZ didn't care about that car at all when it came out, but one drove past the other day and I was like, yeah, weird. Citroën, meanwhile, will give us an EC3 Aircross. That's a slightly more rugged, practical version of their entry-level EV, and a new EC5. That's their flagship model. So think big room, boxy silhouette, maximum comfort. And finally from France, the Alpine A290 and Renault 5 will of course begin deliveries in earnest. For me, 2 of the cars of the year in 2024. Can't wait to see them out on the roads this year. On to Blighty. And plenty to talk about from the UK. This year, Jaguar, they're going to release the first of their new 3-car lineup. I should say, at the time of recording this, Jaguar has sent the internet into meltdown with their rebrand video, this one, but hasn't yet actually unveiled anything. By the time you watch this video, we will have seen pictures of the first car, at least in concept form. Here it is. You're seeing this. I have never seen this. I don't know what it is. No idea. We'll do different reactions. Here you go. I have to say, I'm really looking forward to seeing Jaguar's new direction, and frankly, they've been floundering for so long that there really is no other way but up for this brand. I want to see Jaguar reinvigorated in 2025. Fingers crossed they get this right. Moving on to something that has received far less headlines, but deserves just as many. The new Vauxhall Frontera is arriving in 2025. Not the most exciting, even in the Stellantis stable, but get this, it's the first EV to go on sale in the UK with equivalent pricing for its electric and petrol versions. That is a bit of a landmark moment. Well done, Vauxhall. Range Rover, meanwhile, will surely deliver their first electric model in 2025. I was so sure it was coming last year. I don't know what's taking them so long. They're going to sell so many of them when it finally does arrive. This should be the year, I think. Deliveries of the Ford Capri will likely have begun already by the time you watch this video. I haven't got a huge amount more to say on that car. Go and watch my video on it. What I do have plenty to say on is the new Ford Puma, the smallest and most affordable EV that we will have seen from Ford to date by a country mile. This is essentially an electrified version of the Puma, Britain's best-selling car, hands down. It's the car they should have made in the first place. It's very exciting. We've done a video on it. Go watch it. Popping into Sweden now to complete our tour of Europe, and there is plenty to discuss here. Volvo will split the difference between their gigantic expensive EX90 and very small and fairly affordable EX30 with a, you guessed it, EX60. But the big story in Sweden is the return of big luxury Swedish saloon cars. We're going to get the Polestar 5, which we've seen a lot of over its development. That's going to finally arrive this year. Cannot wait for that. But almost as exciting for me, Volvo has announced its return to building saloon cars after swearing it was done with them, and is bringing back the S90 with the inclusion of an all-electric ES90. Big, luxurious, wafty Swedish saloon? Yeah. Moving on to the US now, and starting with Jeep, who will commence deliveries of their Wagoneer S. Yes, while Range Rover are taking their sweet, sweet time building a luxury electric SUV, the Wagoneer S intends to eat its lunch. But the one that I'm excited for is the Recon. This is by far the Jeepiest electric Jeep that we've seen from Jeep so far. Jeep. It's got short overhangs, it'll be really good off-road, the doors are removable. That's the Jeep that I've been excited for, and I can't wait to have a go in it. General Motors brands will be staying busy building a bunch of stuff off their versatile Ultium platform. This includes a new Buick Electra, a Cadillac Optique, which is their smallest SUV, and the Cadillac Escalade is going electric as well. I put Lamborghini doors on an Escalade. 50 Cent. The electric Corvette was supposed to arrive in 2024. We didn't get to see that. Hopefully 2025 is the year. I can't wait for that. Even more exciting from Chevy though is the new Bolt. This has been due a refresh for some time, and it's going to get it in 25. Chevy says that they want it to be the smallest and most affordable electric car that you can buy in the US. Goodness knows the US needs more of those. And I have to just give a very quick shout out to Scout, the new VW sub brand that was launched just at the end of last year. We're not going to see these in 2025, maybe not even 26, but look at them. How can I not mention this? Retro looking, super powerful, massive range, versatile electric trucks. So cool. Right, let's finish things up in Asia, starting with Japan. There's going to be a new Nissan Leaf in 2025. It's fair to say that's been long overdue. First gen Nissan Leaf, trailblazer, game changer. Second gen Nissan Leaf, fine. Third gen Nissan Leaf has a lot riding on it because Nissan, after making that amazing start, have been a bit slow ever since. I like the Aria, but we need more from them. This is a big car. It's also the first of a trilogy of electric Nissans coming in quick succession, all using established nameplates. We're going to get Leaf, and then Duke, and then Qashqai, all being built in Nissan's new plant in Sunderland. Suzuki will launch this, the e-Vitara. It's smaller than it looks in this picture. This is a relatively compact electric SUV. I wish they'd just done the chimney, but they said that they're not going to. Toyota, meanwhile, intends to build a BZ5X in 2025. This is going to sit above the BZ4X. It's a 3-row large SUV. That's to be built in the US, although plans to do that have recently been delayed. I have no idea what's going on at Toyota. It does appear that they are dead last in the whole race to electrify. I will say this though, a little insider scoop for you. Come here. I spoke to Sandy Munro at one of our live events last year, and I asked him who are going to be the top 3 car makers in 2030. And one of the names that he shouted out was Toyota. I don't know what he knows or what he's seen, but he does know and see everything. So watch this space, I guess. On to China now, and frankly, I could die of old age listing all the new electric cars that will come out of China in 2025 alone, but I'll just give you a couple of standouts in my opinion. XPeng will finally launch in the UK this calendar year via a third-party distributor. The first car they're bringing to market is going to be the G6 SUV. Very nice, but it's the P7 that I really want to see arrive on our shores. Love that car. BYD, meanwhile, will begin deliveries of the Sea Lion. That's not to be confused with the Seal U, which is a hybrid crossover version of the Seal. The Sea Lion is a full electric crossover version of the Seal. That's Seal the car, not to be confused with Seal the man. But most excitingly, in 2025, the BYD Seagull is going to arrive in Europe. This is their super compact, super affordable model, here to do battle with your Dacia Springs and the like. Of all the cars that Elliot has covered for us in China in the last couple of years, this is the #1 model that we most wanted to see arrive in Europe, and it's finally happening. And to finish up, let's head to Korea. It seems only right to do so because, in my opinion, they are doing it best at this moment in time, and they're going to be busy in 2025. Kia will bring the EV4 and EV5 to market this calendar year. EV4 will be available as a saloon or a hatchback, but not a crossover, not an SUV. It's going to be low riding, praise the Lord. While the EV5 you can think of as a boxier, more practical alternative to EV6, same sort of size, but more EV9 in terms of its shape and design and proportions, which I'm all for that because I love the EV9. To put this into Kia PR speak, think of these as electric alternatives to the Kia Ceed and Kia Sportage. Kia said that they would offer an electric version or alternative to every model in their lineup by the end of 2025, and they're going to make good on that promise, it seems. And whisper it quietly, but we might just get a peek at an entry-level EV2 as well. Hyundai, meanwhile, will begin deliveries of their butter wouldn't melt Insta. I love this car. It was my favorite car that I drove in 2024. Not as cheap as we initially hoped that it might be, but for me, hands down, the most charismatic small car that you can buy right now. The Ioniq 9 will arrive in 2025. We've already had a first look at it. It's big. And this is not confirmed, but there is some speculation that we may well see the arrival of an Ioniq 6N in 2025. That's following on from the immense success of the Ioniq 5N. For me, the most exciting electric car I have ever driven. Make it a saloon? Yes, please. So there we go. That is a whistle-stop tour of some of the most interesting and exciting new electric cars coming in 2025. I would love to know, which one of them are you most excited for? Which one are you least excited for? And which did I fail to mention? Because I miss one every year. I very much hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have been, thanks for watching.
We're really excited to partner with Duracell Energy to showcase their amazing renewable energy solutions. If you want to reduce your energy bills and join the renewable energy transition, installing home battery storage and solar panels at home is a great way to start. Duracell Energy's ecosystem of products typically partners with solar panels, but they can be just as effective without it, particularly for electric vehicle owners or anyone looking to take control of their energy. And with Duracell Energy's Platinum Homeowner offer, viewers can get a custom service that pairs you with top quality products and the best installers in your area. Your installation also comes with a 20-point check, a 6-month performance review, system health checks at 3 and 10-year periods, and outstanding local UK customer support every step of the way. Plus, Duracell Energy's batteries, inverters and EV chargers work together on one easy-to-use app. With features like dynamic tariff integration and grid services, you'll be able to maximise your return. Ready to get started? You can get your quote today. And don't forget, we're also giving away a Duracell Energy Bunny in every episode. Just answer the question about fully charged by following the link in the description. Good luck!